scratch. Oh.
You don't mind if I just play around a little bit?
No,
No, not
please,
at all.
please do.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning some of the keys new. So what is the jump?
I'd imagine
Or
it's
sorry,
space
not
bar.
jump, what is back?
Do what?
Yes, Steve.
Right? W
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll want to customize the keys then. They're kind of non-standard right now. This is
Are
not,
they?
This is not the default config. Jump down.
Oh yeah, yeah. So is the shoot now, like it's not
Yeah.
not the key
We
anymore?
did it last time. Keyboard. Right hook.
Not perfect. Point. I killed. Sure, yeah. Stuck on objects. Probably a log bug, I'm sure. it's supposed to stay.
Projects are getting.
What's gonna slammed?
Away in pieces, thousands. Really. Of a wall left in your house.
This demo was just.
No.
Had a movie that. It has stuff on. I think it is. Yeah, the galaxy. Yeah. The feel, the whole idea of like this roof getting
Your way up to that wall. So.
matter, but I can't function. And then like I can kind of edit or not kind of I can see that something's happening. The actual ladder itself I can grab onto. So I don't know if I'm supposed to, but if I am, I can't figure out how to get up.
Movement's a little.
Can.
Yeah.
And actually, there is a one that says, something. So now, assuming that the door construction happening, yes,
Oh, I
we
see.
have
I
to play
could.
pretend.
Okay, that's totally cool.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
There's are missing, pulling towards this big cloudy wall behind you. Whoa. Jump, you'll feel it's a. Power down and seems to die off. And they're now falling down, dropping out of the sky.
Okay.
Don't worry, we got quick saves happening.
The tough puzzle, or is this a... Wasn't that tough?
Your health's gone significantly down at that point.
Auto regen, or is that just for now?
Uh,
You can hit to switch back to your gun.
here.
Just because of the quick.
Quite, which was nice. Can you keep on going further back?
No, that basically what you saw there was explode.
And like having this windmill of this area, which is like sucks.
When the wind ball.
So that thing is gone too?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, well that would be my biggest one. It would be, could have interacted with it there, then it doesn't really.
Tell you that you couldn't pick.
Can't pick up, but I'd also I'd be able to,
Okay.
you know, like when it's interactive almost. Areas where the fences that some of them seem quite hard, I couldn't destroy them when I like when that guy there and I like on him, I could, one of those things where I tried to I couldn't influence. So it's almost like certain things that I can influence and obscure. Looking for props that look like attached to anything, right? I have cute, but I mean, there's only so much you can. Then little, like where you have the hay bales just up on that, and I pulled them off.
We make an active effort all stacking puzzles of
Okay.
any kind.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't want them. That was left.
Because they're right? Okay.
Even though it was neglected to be mentioned, the gun you're carrying, and there's basically some damage to it, and it's probably not functioning as well as it should. So it was hinted at the plant. Try to find some tools. House.
Yeah, there is a stone.
Yeah, he's just not there. And NPC kind of talks to you for a bit there.
The thing I noticed is like I feel like my basic movement should be affecting these things a little. Like they seem so light, like the boxes, the way they sit. They like to have a lot of mass. Even when I don't have a whole lot, like they physically block. They I don't, sometimes it physically ricochets me, like depending on the angle. I'd expect to like run right through that.
Right.
That's my door texture. So did you say this I was supposed to find?
Go to his new house that he's building in the find some tools. Now you're not hearing it, but that's it's running.
Wrong button.
Mention the fire. There's a fire
That's
burning
not
at the
slow.
entrance
That's
again.
not-
That you, yeah.
Hope I didn't need that.
So Clem, oh, I wonder if I could turn the gas off from somewhere.
What's that?
That's kind of tricky because it really look different than anything else I've been moving around.
You actually shouldn't have been able to.
Oh, okay, that
Actually, fence rips off. It's going to be a bendable metal fence.
cool.
You'd use keys Y right now.
Is it?
And it's gone.
I totally wanted that propane tank to that one there.
Yeah, you look disappointed.
That would have been cool.
Did you get the message? The scenario is going to end up being like this PhysX, temporary PhysX texture is going to be smoke that you can move and part as you move around it.
Oh, okay.
And there's going to be a
Lubricant the entire time?
you'll essentially have a functionality, except it would only be half strength up
Okay.
until this point. But that's not coded yet, so.
That's cool. So does that mean I'm supposed
Up to the start. Haven't worked on.
I want to door move is one of the things I want. Like with my gun handles.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Okay.
You kill. There's actually cloth physics, a screen door that you'll be able to throw in or tear. Right now it says out the window.
Okay. Taking those in the window.
There's the window.
The old scenario was he would tell you that it looks like this gun has functionality that we haven't. So maybe if you go talk to metal shop, help you. That
Okay. So am I supposed to go to the metal shop then?
well, yeah. If you were to go to the metal shop, door that is written from Jimmy, and he says, I'm over at the saloon.
Okay. Oh.
And so they're all corner and drunk. And trying to convince you to just give up. It's the end of the world. Bye. Skip to T4.
Yeah, this is the next hit after we get the demo thing done. As well, get as much feedback on this as we can.
So this is this is
The intro. So everything's very simple. Combat's very teach
Yeah.
how to throw objects.
that's good. Yeah.
They seem to really.
It's gonna be the death of me. Doesn't hurt him.
I think he deflected it with his arms.
Oh.
There you go. There you go. The metal shop guy goes, "Oh wow, you saved the day!" And he says, "Let's go to the metal shop," and he leads you out this back door here. He comes up and grabs away with him, and he's like, "Ah!" and drops the keys for you as he's flying away to his doom. So now you have keys to the metal shop. The scenario is going to. It's too.
Rip through, like tear down the.
Oh, okay. Save you? Oh no.
Ow. Oh, getting. You're gonna die.
At the beginning was one of those things.
Uh, Oh, we got an enemy. So it does the whole smoke trail. And
Would you have taught the player abilities at this point?
yeah, pretty much Alan's been pretty much using everything we has at this point. Zoom. video there you just passed is to Milford Junction. The Army's there, where everybody's, getting, meeting up there. Always a vicious.
Game
Oh. No. Exploiting the map. Damn right.
That's what makes physics and games so much fun.
Entirely necessary. It's not going to stop the rock from falling down that.
It's not?
No.
Not this time.
You can rip it apart. One of the arms is embedded in the model itself. You're going to be able to.
Shield.
Shield.
More than a shield.
Yeah, we're going to have a consistent model game that you can use. The mechanics, entire base gameplay to grab. That's the. Okay, you can pretty much. This is the end of.
Cool.
This is where the grab. These you have now. Actually, you've got all frickin' 4 of them, eh?
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know what keys you about.
Well, speakers. Okay.
So basically, short range, like Andrew was doing to you, he was blasting you with electricity.
Right.
So,
Mouse button, I can turn it on.
yeah, it looks like it. And if you press and hold the right mouse button, it will build up and shoot a huge blast.
Oh, okay.
And it.
I got it.
And what was time warp?
Oh, to this and E is time warp. Basically good.
I was probably getting those by accident before, I think.
Yeah, bullet times.
You start without a weapon, so bring up the console.
That works too.
Correctly this time. I actually didn't see this crack out last time I played. I was almost on top of it, I missed it.
Oh, you got a guy right above you.
So my superpowers only last a certain amount of time, right?
Correct.
How do I know when to recharge?
Right to your.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'd be explained to me in the intro right now. Oh, I'm so.
Ouch. Just had the wing ball. So they're. Balance will give yourself your gun again.
Oh, okay. Card in the face.
Container to the head.
What you have? Oh, bastard.
Actually, I don't think it works at all unless you let it fill up. Very sneaky. Oh! Oh, shit.
We're not able.
No, since we've had the wind bombs coated, we've shifted from the stuff.
That
Right.
was it wasn't possible. So tell me, so go to rate on.
Yeah, right there. Yeah,
Okay.
get moving again, you'll be right. Down to- There you go. Oh.
The arrow keys, it's down to the arrow keys.
But exactly where we said it originally today, this morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing a lot more work necessary than, you know, like a lot more
What was he saying?
to bring the gameplay up. No, there's no for AI, the NPC to defeat them. There's actually a guy, a trucker on the side of the road. Says, man, you know, like a truck driver, man, I just wiped out and the whole, that, my tanker spilled fuel. I wonder if there's some way to put it out. main car here has a big giant white sign on the side that says, another one on your left, it says, yeah, that big one.
This.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that says fire retardant foam in it. And that's supposed to look like a,
Where do you find out the purple?
yeah, it's a bit gimbaled. Yeah, this is an unfair puzzle he hadn't been taught.
It told me. First is, what button does it map to?
Q.
Okay, so unless this is speed burst, it's not working. Or do you hold it down? Whoa! I saw some screen.
Yeah, that would be Alex.
Oh, that's funny.
Placeholder.
She said.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We're going, Gordon.
I've heard you say that before.
That's some funny stuff, man.
Oh, I see it. I get it.
Hey, good job.
That's kind of cool actually. Now that I know how it works, I figured it would just boost my speed. Not interested in trying it,
Mhm.
but actually, it teleports me. It's much interesting as a gameplay mechanic. Exploited, and I like exploit. Anyways, your game isn't finished. I'll wait till it's done, and then I'll find all the crannies.
Oh, he makes it. Good job.
That's cool. I like. Oh, I got robbed.
That's essentially the end of the level.
To get that teleport move.
They are the last you get, and it was at 3.
That's pretty cool.
All of 4 and all of 5 to use it. Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Like we wanted the last 2 levels to basically be able to start doubling up the abilities and puzzles that you need multiple kind of stuff for. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Your AI's tough.
So, just spew out some thoughts.
So this is based on that demo that physics card kind of gave at an E3 last year or GDC or something like that.
Same time, it's based on the technology.
So I actually played that.
Cell factor?
Yeah. It was really cool, right? The platform, it was like, I can't remember if they weren't, because there's no place to land and stuff like that. I really like the whole thing of like, pick up lots of stuff. I always wished I could surround myself with the floating stuff, and have be a virtual force field. I don't know what, probably not wanting your, just to be able to put it into a ball and shoot it. I like that too. I want it all to shoot when I shoot it. Sometimes I find that it just doesn't move. Mm-hmm. These are more technical things because I didn't really find anything overtly that pissed me off with the level design or anything like that. And I didn't find it frustrating. As soon as I get somebody telling me where to go and I have objective markers on a map, I think I pretty much get it. To figure out where to go and what to do. You guys have added some puzzle stuff. Like, it's weird though when I have doors and windows, some I can bust open, some I can't. It's frustrating. Right. So, especially when everything looks like it's made of, and I can pick up cars, yet I can't break a. There's like these little things that kind of take me away from the experience simply because it's my suspension of disbelief has completely gone away as soon as like this rickety wooden shelf I can't actually interact with.
Yeah, you can smash the metal barrel and all of a sudden shelf.
Yeah.
Of course. Right.
Some of the things like maybe it makes sense like will affect things and it's a material issue where I can pick up a box and I can smash it against something and sometimes it'll break a window, but I'll use a heavier object and it doesn't seem to like make that effect. But maybe it's because some windows are I can actually affect. I don't know. Maybe. Right.
Okay. So yeah, there's consistency with some of the materials and just
exactly
the way things are set.
I like that. Pick up the car. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Car is cool.
Bigger stuff is always like it doesn't necessarily need to be bigger as in volume, but bigger as in mass is interesting, right? Like I know that the car is physically a heavy object, yet I'm manipulating it in space and making it rotate. I noticed like there was also like the way when I pick up stuff. It would be frustrating that I can't actually manipulate the direction it's facing or how it's. So like a good example is the shield. I pick up the shield, but when I would turn, if the plank, when I pick up the plank is flat here, if I pick it up and then turn this direction, it literally doesn't. It's not like I pick it up and then move it.
Yeah, it rotates with you.
Yeah, and I'd either expect it to like flow all around me and be completely unpredictable, or it needs to be completely predictable.
Right.
And I find like when I was using my one or it all up and it's unpredictable and that made sense to me. But when I pick something else up, I want it to be like, I find sometimes I'm knocking against something and I totally lose control of it. Something would be getting between me and my gun and I'd lose it, which makes sense if it's like a large cliff or something, but if sometimes there were the little poles or something and all of a sudden I would totally lose grasp of the objects I'm holding on to. And I don't want that as a result. Like thin stuff, I understand why it's cutting me off, and it should. Like if I'm trying to like break the game, then there needs to be rules, right? Those were the big things, I think. When I see things like ladders and stuff like that, I almost want to try to put them in places to see if I get up on areas that, but I don't even know if that's possible. I used the ladder early in the game. And then there was another ladder that I noticed, I didn't bother. Another ladder in the building that I can get to the basement. Right. Can I take that ladder? Like I should have tried and place it up against something and actually climb it?
As long as it's less than a 45, yes.
Okay. So it's just
but
based
you
on.
can't like climb it like.
Yeah. It's just
actually a ladder.
Okay, that's cool. Which was one thing that kind of bugged me as well, because when I went to the ladder, I was sliding off of it,
Right.
where I expect to have a hard clip on something like that. It removes a little bit of control for me as a player, but I get the results that I'm desiring when I want to move in a three-dimensional space.
So the object should be behaving like the object should be behaving.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah,
a ladder, you should be able to climb it. If it's
Yeah.
a door, you should be able to open it. If it's
Yeah.
wood, you should be able to break it, et
Yeah.
cetera.
yeah. Because I mean, that's the way I see it. It's like materials is such a difficult concept in games, right? It's such a tricky problem to get right. So that would be really nice.
Mhm.
So just to have stuff like reacting that way. It's- the hay kind of seemed disappointing. I want to like smash that against something and the bail to rip apart. Like if you ever been like, I used to grow up on a farm, right? They don't take much to like those things to just bust apart. They just felt like a box, cardboard boxes that I was throwing around.
Mhm.
There was at the beginning of the game, pretty sure I was probably had way more power than I was supposed to have at that point anyways. But like you have a fridge where I can take the cans out of the fridge, but I can't do anything with the fridge.
Yeah.
So that's probably a moot point, especially if you don't have those kind of abilities that early in the game anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Fridge physics object too.
Even like
Picking up the couch, you should
Yeah.
pick up the smaller fridge.
Yeah.
A big part of our tuning at this point is going to be going through and trying to find anything that's not movable that should be making it
Yeah.
movable, and just consistency things like
Yeah.
you're saying.
Like was there like a door on the front of that fridge?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah,
And
I missed that.
unfortunately, it's a go up and push the use button to open.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
hasn't been changed for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Most of it felt pretty good. I realize it's fairly early, right? So it's hard to. I would never say anything about like the way it looked, but most of it felt decent. Some of the controls were a little twitchy, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm
Twitchy.
So twitchy is like Quake. Twitchy is like where like the movement is very like sometimes it feels like it's a little too much. I just try to get an exact position on top of a car, and I'm microing my actual my foot
Right.
movement, right?
So movement, the player speed for sure needs to be cut
Yeah.
down. Yeah, I noticed you struggling through some of the door frames.
Yeah, especially, and it's tricky, especially when you're giving me cliff puzzles. Like I need to be able to predict exactly my movement so I can know when to jump and then how I'm gonna land.
Mhm.
Just as a mechanic in general. Because I like to time that stuff, and I want to know where I need to be and how I need to nudge up to this edge so that I know that when I effectively do my jump, I'm gonna make it to the other end. So, yeah. But that's all I really noticed with the movement stuff. I found the orb, like, even when I made it, so the orb is an interesting game mechanic, it's an interesting weapon. It's almost completely useless to me.
Which one?
The orb, the focus orb, when I hold down the button, when it's, like, I wasn't noticing any huge effect, but when it's huge, I can't see any of the screen or what I'm aiming at. So if that's the desired effect, but usually my enemies are so small that like trying to get them right, especially at a distance, as soon as I launch it at it, chances are it's gonna hit something, like even the ground a little bit before it gets that far, and it's gone. I found that there was really for me to be using that power whatsoever. I like just the little spike, but it seemed to go fairly far.
Yeah, the range is actually very short.
Is it?
The art is still
It's
kind of
long
focused,
though,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so the visual there was broken.
Yeah.
obviously.
So what's the point of all the other weapons? Are those Half-Life weapons?
Yeah,
or
those
just
are Half-Life
Half-Life
2 weapons and they're
Okay, okay. If you guys were offering that stuff, because you really don't need to.
No, we have, that's why the Graviton, the
Yeah.
gravity gun has all that functionality, the grab, drop, the
Yeah.
throw, the area of effect, pulse, and spike. It's because it's a whole bunch of weapons piled into one.
So another thing when I think about a gravity gun, and nobody really does it, is that I have this object in front of me that I can use to manipulate other objects that I'm grabbing onto, but it's one of the I actually expect to be able to aim at the ground and boost myself.
We actually have from it,
Right.
spike the ground, and we ended up pulling it.
Yeah, I can see it being super hard to balance and it like breaking so many different.
Well, it was very hard to teach the player how to
Right.
Yeah.
in any kind of intuitive manner.
If someone's on a rocket jumper already.
Yeah.
Every building wall and everything had to be so damn high
Yeah.
to keep the player in the map.
For sure.
You know, so
You guys had a lot of like when I was trying to. That's also something I find really like. Not necessarily breaking the game, but giving areas that are tricky to get up to, so they feel like they're accomplishing. Like I tried to get up on the car on the one point to like jump up on. I saw another ledge. I would like just to get up there just to see if there's an alternate path.
right.
Like I know, sure, I can accomplish the same puzzle the same way I beat it every single time with this stuff coming down the road at me, or maybe if I'm tricky enough, I can actually get up on that ledge, and it gives me a different route how I can solve this puzzle in a different way. And as a player, I like stuff like that. I think other players would like stuff like that.
Yeah, like getting on top of the metal shop, which
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking it was a perfect place to stick one of our collectible beer cans or a couple of them, right?
Yeah, and also because it's in the middle of town, there's actually nothing wrong with being up there.
yeah, I couldn't see anything that I wasn't supposed to. It's like in the middle, right? But even so, I still feel a sense of accomplishment when I make it to the top, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a silly player reward.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'd like more of that kind of stuff. You have jumping as a mechanic, why not use that a little more? Use it at the end, of course. Like I'm jumping from cliff edges, and platforming puzzles are a real bitch when it comes to 3D, like first-person style games. But since you did have the speed mechanic, whatever that is, that was pretty cool. Like that actually showed me where I was going to go. So I have that instant player feedback of how I'm going to land on this particular platform, so I wasn't frustrated. It wasn't cool when I did fall in, especially when I saw my guy there. Like what I expected was the actual, to end up on that platform and be like, that was awesome. I knew there was nothing wrong. All I had, the real trick is just getting myself in a position that I'm safe and actually seeing where I can project myself to.
Right.
Real puzzle, right? So it's like the ledges only kind of match up in this one couple or a few different areas, and you just have to make sure you get to them properly, and then you'll accomplish your goal.
Right.
So that's cool. This looks good, but I think the frame rate kind of killed the effect a couple times. Like I couldn't tell when I was in slow.
We're in software mode still. We're
For
not running
sure.
the hardware, so
Yeah,
we're still
so
running Havoc, so it's gonna
I
be
totally won't complain about that, but I think it will be an interesting. Been done lots before, unlike the transport, which has been done before as well, but at least I haven't seen it like this. It felt so.
very cool.
Yeah, that's all off the top of my head, I think. I know that when I see you have another area where stuff just the problems are where things just I can't affect them the way I imagine I should be able to. Like when I picked up that giant propane tank, and then there's that iron grate fence, like the mesh fence. I think I should be able to rip that open with some sort of heavy object. Yeah, I can't. It's static, I believe. I don't think you can affect it whatsoever.
Yeah, I was making a note of that.
Yeah.
And you expect to be able to tear that off just because of the interactivity.
Or just hit it with something and it just swings open like you'd expect on some sort of mesh fence. It makes a cool sound and maybe sparks where the lock is. It's just the little things that from that environment that I expect to happen.
And that kind of goes back to consistency or continuity.
Yeah.
With materials
Yeah.
and objects.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's mostly it.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think you've been one of our best testers for feedback.